seen for generations. A Dyad in the Force.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Dyad and the Force, episode 92. Let me switch this really quickly, get the chat going. We are here to talk about comics. We rarely ever cover comics on Dyad and the Force, and we should cover them more often. But the news cycle has been popping lately.
Yeah.
All kinds of visual media just goes off. We're joined by two new guests. I've been trying to get Hayden on for quite a while, scheduling conflicts and stuff like that, but we're joined by Hayden.
That's too good for us. That's okay. Okay.
We're joined
Thank
by
you for slumming
Hayden
it.
and Liv. I believe both of you are on Kessel Run Relay, right?
Yes, we are.
Why don't you go ahead and introduce yourselves? We'll start with Hayden. Let everyone know where they can find you and your great content. And,
Yeah,
who you are.
absolutely. So hello for all those of you who don't know me. My name is Hayden. You can find me on TikTok at taika.ytd and then on Instagram and Twitter at mcuytd. I'm gonna let Liv go next.
Hi, I'm Liv. You can find me everywhere, pretty much just Twitter, Instagram. I don't do TikTok much anymore, but I'm on there too. Oliviamidala.
And then you can find our podcast, Kessel Run Relay. You can find us on Twitter. Exactly. You can find us on Twitter at Kessel Run Relay, and then on TikTok and Instagram at Kessel Run Relay Pod. We have actually just posted an episode about Andor on Thursday, very in time with the premiere of the show. I'll be honest, it's 3 hours long, so it's kind of hefty.
Ooh.
However, we do get into the nitty-gritty of Cassian Andor with two of probably the biggest Cassian Andor fans that I can name, or in existence,
right?
Probably. Yes,
And
Emily.
Sabi, yeah.
Yes.
Let's just say if a bigger one exists, I don't want to meet him.
I do not.
Yeah.
I am not aware of them.
Why does my camera hate me today? Like, it keeps on not focusing on me. Anyways, welcome to Dyad in the Forest. Choco, how's it going, man?
I'm walking on sunshine right now. It's been awesome. Star Wars fans are eating well right now, and there's just so much good stuff going on. I also, did want to support and shout out, the Podathon, which did hit its $10,000 Make-A-Wish Foundation mark. So that's awesome for them.
Congratulations.
And yeah, I recently was able to see the first 3 episodes of Andor at the premiere, which was amazing. I still say the best part was watching M talk to Diego Luna for like a full minute.
Oh my god.
And she was just like, she was shaking the entire time she was talking to him. It was just, I don't know, it was adorable. He was very sweet and kind. I got to meet him too, but man, it was just really cool. I've just been on cloud 9 for half of the week.
And I have been living through you. We gotta start like a Twitter campaign. We're gonna tweet at Star Wars Official. And we're just gonna keep on peppering them to bring the Dyad and 2 guests to the Ahsoka premiere. Yes.
But you know what though? You know what's really cool is there were quite a few people that got invited that are straight up Star Wars content creators. I know that there were some complaints before because when they did the cruise the hotel, the Galactic Star Cruiser. Most of the people invited were more general content creators or did more Marvel stuff. So there was some complaints. There was a lot of direct Star Wars people there, and so that tells me that things are going in the right direction,
Yeah. Just as Young Jones says, shout out to Young in the chat. Nah, bombard them, ditch the pepper. I mean, there's gonna be pepper regardless because of me. So we're just gonna pepper them, we're gonna prod them, and we're gonna bother them until everyone else gets to go to a premiere. Because there's a lot of people in this community that deserve to go to Star Wars events and premieres and stuff like that. And it makes sense because a lot of us are just Star Wars. But I digress. Shout out to Silver Glass. Who remembers when Choco had a green screen? I remember.
Pepper Shrooms, remember?
Yeah, such fond memories of the Trench Run episodes of that.
I literally ordered the green screen cloth off of wish.com, and then I went to Target and I spent $12 on a rolling coat rack and put my screen on it, and that's what was just behind my chair, because otherwise you would have seen my messy ass room.
Yeah, I mean, I used to have the green screen too until he updated the backdrop a little bit. Those were the days for sure. Ema says Kessel Run Relay is a great Star Wars podcast. Right on. I've checked out a couple of their episodes. Yes, they are long. But it's
Talk a lot.
but it's a long time of like it's a long episode. It's long episodes of great energy. And it's something that you have to listen to. A lot of our people who have podcasts in this community have great podcasts, and Kessel Run Relay is just like, if you're feeling down, you definitely need to give them a listen so that your energy shoots up for the day.
That's very nice.
Well, that's well deserved.
And even with long episodes, they're long because it gets so engaging and there's more to say. You know what I mean? It's not long because they're padding it out. So yeah, don't let the length scare you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You can chunk it up into certain hours if you really want to.
You can. Do you guys have any announcements other than like your newest episode of Kessel Run?
I do still want to plug our interview with Ethan Sachs, the comic book writer that I'm positive we're going to talk about his work today. He
assuredly.
is.
I'm going to start a tally of every time his name is mentioned.
Oh yeah. But he was just an amazing guest. He's an amazing man. He's absolutely one of the nicest people I've ever met. He was so giving and he was so lovely to have on, especially when we were dealing with my horrible Wi-Fi. He was very gracious and understanding. He's so funny. He's just the best. And I might be a little bit biased because it was our Valence episode, but I still want to plug that interview very much because he's like the best.
I mean, I can only imagine, right? When we had TJO on Dyad like a long time ago, we like instantly
He's
became friends
Yeah.
with him, and I keep on telling this story, but being the coffee person for TJO and then delivering it after the High Republic panel is a high point in my life. I don't care what you say about being a golfer. Yeah, I'll get them all coffees all day. I'll get Claudia, I'll get all of the High Republic authors coffees. Silverglass says #bring back the green screen for 100.
I could do that.
What if you do a green screen of the background?
Oh my gosh, yeah, just take a picture with of the background and then make that the green screen. I forget, mine was like a rolling background. I had like the Jedi Temple, the Council Chambers, the Crèche at one point, and then when I was on high ground with you on episode 3, it was just stars, right? I was like mystical.
Yeah. I kept searching around to try to find the right one,
Yeah.
But are you saying that with running coffee, you're like the real life Chase Wilser?
Windsor? Yes, I am.
Nice.
Yes, I am. And that means I get to run in between Han and Leia.
Yes.
Kenny in the chat says, let's make a drinking game out of it. Listen, I do have... So this is what I've been using to clear my throat.
So it is a drinking game. All right.
I mean, I'll take a shot right now, but I've been using this to clear my throat and my sickness. It is whiskey. Choco, do you have whiskey next to you?
Unfortunately, I do not.
Okay.
I did buy some Lord of the Rings beer.
Ooh.
It's medicinal, Young says.
It's the Fellowship IPA. I haven't seen episode 4 yet of Rings of Power, so I was gonna pop that open and drink it while watching it afterwards.
Right on. You gonna watch it with the wifey?
No, she's not feeling well.
Okay. Well,
She has vertigo.
if you are, up to it, we can do like a watch along on Discord or something like that. Because that stuff is always fun. IPA, no. I agree with you, Dexon. As someone from Southern California, everyone and their mother has an IPA brewery. And so I'm a Belgian wheat myself. Shock Tops, Blue Moons, anything like that. I like the ambers. But yeah, just in my defense. So that's where I started. And Delirium Tremens was my go-to. It's a Belgium. It's delicious. And when I moved to Portland, I was forced. Because that's all there was. And then now if it's hot IPA, if it's cold I get a stout, and that's pretty much it. Looks like we're in agreement with the chat. Young says yes, ambers for the win. Old lagers and Hefeweizen. Yeah, I'll enjoy a Radler one. Sometimes. I know a lot of people dissociate that with the feminine, but I enjoy shandies. What do you want?
Hey man, confident in my manhood to have a pink sweet drink, or whatever. It's all good.
Harris says a lot of us are eating good, so good. Major W's across the board, which reminds me, the High Republic Phase 2 is here. Finally. And while some of us are attending premieres, a lot of us are eating good in the High Republic with Path of Deceit.
No way.
And
I'm jealous.
Quest for the Hidden City.
Way. Oh my gosh.
And so Path of Deceit is coming out October 2nd or October 4th. We'll be ready and ready to talk about that as it comes out. This is by Tessa Grattan and Justina Ireland, by the way. Choco, the offer still stands. I can ship it to you as soon as I'm done with them.
I'm still holding out hope. I know typically you normally get yours before me. Like if we are getting the same book, you typically get yours 1 or 2 days before me. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
I'm super pumped to get into it. And this is 150 years before, so like this is new people again.
Now, since we are, talking about comics, I have to ask if you guys saw the covers for The Blade and what you think of that lightsaber hilt.
Oh my gosh. I'll be honest. I kind of glanced over the lightsaber hilt, but the one variant by Giuseppe Camuncoli, who is doing the Bounty Hunters covers right now, the one of him kind of that is going on my pull list. Absolutely.
Right on. All right, let's move on to comics. This is our main segment, and we're going to spend the entirety of this episode, aside from our Pictionary segment, talking about comics. Now, I need to know from the both of you, what got you into comics? Because when I became a content creator, there was hardly anyone who read the Star Wars comics. And when I a long time ago, when I covered each issue as they came out, everyone was like, what are these? Like what happened to Dark Horse? Like, bro, you're 20 years late. No one read, I won't say no one, but a lot of people didn't read books or didn't read the comics. And a lot of them either weren't content creators or just weren't public about it. And nowadays, everyone reads books, everyone's reading the High Republic, everyone's reading comics, and we're all like stoked for it. So what got you into comics if you weren't before?
For me, I think it was completely random. I was on Twitter or something, and then I saw, I follow Marvel on Twitter, which I'm sure most people do, but I saw this announcement get tweeted out for this thing called The War of the Bounty Hunters, and which is the trilogy going on right now by Charles Soule. And I think, yeah, it's War of the Bounty Hunters, Crimson Reign, and Hidden Empire, which Hidden Empire comes out in November, but of course we'll get into that. I was just like completely enthralled in this article, and actually it was releasing some of the variants that they were doing for the preludes for the tie-ins. And it was like the Boba variant, the Leia variant, the Valance variant, and then I think one more that I can't remember who it was. But
Bausch, I think.
Yes, you're right. Mm-hmm. And then I was just scrolling through and I was like, I need to know everything that's happening. So in early June, I think is when it started with the Prelude issue, which is where Boba actually loses Han encased in carbonite. I went to the comic book store and I was like, I gotta have this. So I read the Prelude and I was like, this is pretty good. So then I started keeping up with like the release tracker. I use League of Comic Geeks, which I'm sure I've recommended to a ton of people. You can make like pull lists and stuff like that. And I was checking the pull lists for the actual title, War of the Bounty Hunters. And I remember I like made a list of all of the tie-ins for the regular comics. And I was like about 2 months late, and I went to the comic book store and I just bought every single one of them. From, I think most of the tie-ins started from like issue 12 onwards. I'm pretty sure, yeah. Bounty Hunters was issue 12, and then the rest were 13. Afro was 10, which I just reread that yesterday. Everything, I was completely ensconced in this. And then I was like, I want to know what the heck happened before this. So then I had Marvel Unlimited because I got it as like a late birthday present. I had Marvel Unlimited, and then I went through and I read all of the current runs up until like 3 months before, because that's when they come on the Marvel Unlimited app. And from then on, I was obsessed. Every week, going to the comic book store, keeping up with releases, basically building like a catalog. And Liv has seen my collection. It's scarily extensive, yes. But yeah, that is definitely what got me into this shebang.
I mean, I've like listening to some of your episodes on Kessel Run, like it is quite impressive to kind of hear how much you have consumed ever since War of the Bounty. Like if that is when you got into it, that's not that long ago. And I guess it just kind of exponentially grew from there. Liv, what about you?
Yes.
For me, I actually I listened to the Afra audio book back in, I think, January of 2021. So it kind of piqued my interest there. So I got got myself a Marvel Unlimited subscription, and I read a couple things. I think I read Han Solo Imperial Cadet. That was like the first issue or run I ever read, and I still love it so much. But I didn't really be into it yet. And then when War of the Bounty Hunters 1 came out, I was on Twitter and I just saw people were tweeting about Kira along with this War of the Bounty Hunters, and I was like, what is happening here? Because I have been a Kira stan since 2018 when Solo came out. And
as well you should be.
Thank you. And since Solo came out, we haven't got anything else about her. So I was like, if they are even giving me like the smallest crumb, I need to consume it. So and also this all happened while I was at work in my like little cubicle. So I bought the digital issue and I read it. And then I got to the last panel and I had to not scream out loud because I was at work. So that was Yeah, that was life changing.
That's amazing.
Just to see her again.
Are either of you? I don't know which issue it is, but it is in Crimson Reign. But are any of you planning to cosplay that particular fit for Kira?
But
I think
which
Liv
one?
is.
She has like, and that's
so many.
I believe in Crimson Reign 5, she has 3 outfits. Good for like in that one issue.
I think it's the one where she like pays the archivist a visit.
Oh, red
I
one?
think 3.
It's the red one.
Yeah. I was considering doing that one. I have to narrow it down. I definitely want to do another Comic Kira cosplay for Celebration in London. But there's so many options now that I can't decide.
Do all of
and
them.
I wish I could. I don't have the money to do that.
That's true.
And I have to wait for Hidden Empire to come out too to see what she wears in that.
Yeah,
So
that's true.
it's gonna be a bit. But
Oh my god,
anyway.
can you imagine if Hidden Empire comes out at Celebration? Like in that week? We would be so unwell.
I would be a menace.
So both of you
Yeah.
are going to London then.
Yes.
Yes.
It's a party.
Indeed, we actually have our own little hype house. We have the High Republic hype house, and then we have the Han Balance hype house, which I'm sure we'll get into.
It's just us. It's just us.
It's just us.
Relax. We have our own little hype house too. Okay, we have the Dyad hype house. It's gonna be fun. I imagine it's the first time in London it's the first time for me being in London. So it'll be my second celebration, first time in London. We have a lot of friends and mutuals, parasocial relationships that need to turn into IRL relationships. And we actually have I don't know if you guys are familiar with Vader's wife, but she is having a 21st birthday on the closing ceremony.
Oh man.
And she's hosting a party, and
Well, I can
seemingly
actually
everyone's invited.
I can legally drink in London, so
Yes,
yeah.
you can.
I'm still underage, unfortunately. Still 20. Still kicking it.
Aw.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I'm pretty sure you've kind of, dipped your toes in the
Christmas 2 years ago, I had rum punch. That's about it. For legal reasons, that was a joke.
Listen, Silverglass says Vader's wife is Padme. We all know that, Silverglass. Vader's wife on TikTok, at Vader's wife. Also, where was it? I think Nedrex said I need a recap of Phase 1. So, I'm just kidding. I'm not going to recap all of Phase 1 right now. There's a lot. The Jedi are at the height of their reputation. The Nile threatened that order, and things happen. Lots of things happen. But
In the chat, Darth Man said, "Stay young," and then I was like, "Did Young leave?" And I confused myself.
stay young, please.
But as Dex and Download perfectly surmised, Phase 1. It's Markion Rose, Outer Rim Daddy.
Yes.
I can't argue with that.
Which begs the question: what is it with people and blue men?
So true.
That's a good question.
I don't know, but I will say I've been seeing a green filter going around, TikTok, and I think that's working too. So
Have to agree.
we got it's the cooler tones. I think though. I think it's all about the cooler tones.
Hey, my favorite color is blue. You won't find me complaining, but still.
Speaking of cooler tones, I had to pull the image. If you see in our Discord chat where we launched this, if you wanted to show people the beauty that is the blade, that this variant cover, it's gorgeous. If you wanted to.
Yeah, if you know what, while I set that up, why don't you vamp on what got you into comics?
Oh,
Yes.
so my love of comics actually predates my love of Star Wars, maybe. I don't know. So my oldest geek memories is there was this like older woman that used to watch me and my sister, and she had this big old cherry tree that we built like our little like tree house in, and I would just be up there reading Spider-Man comics and pulling out cherries and eating them, and it was just good times, you know. But when it comes to Star Wars specifically, it was around the time when I really did start getting into just devouring tons of content. It was mostly EU content. I'm not even sure if The Force Awakens had come out yet. I don't think we had canon stuff at the time, but I was like, I need more. Like I caught up, or I read everything I could find, and so yeah, that's what started that journey. And yeah, it's hasn't wavered. I will say this though, the stuff we've been getting lately, but Vader stuff from 2015 and 2017, which 2015 led to Dr. Aphra, and all this new stuff to me is just, I feel like we're in the golden age of it. I think that the comics were good before. I think they're phenomenal now.
Mm-hmm. I agree 100%.
Oh man,
do you guys have a favorite run from that era?
From like 2015 or now?
From either 2015 or 2017, so the non-modern ones.
I gotta say, I actually read the Poe Dameron comics by Charles Soule first, like around 2018, when I was like getting back into Star Wars, but not really. I read like the 2 trades, the first 2, just because I'm a Poe girly through and through. But from that era, that's definitely my favorite. Although Vader 2017 is extremely good. I'm sure we'll talk about it a lot. I know I've seen a lot about it, like on Twitter, TikTok, stuff like that. It's phenomenal, and it's yeah.
It's the first. It's the first run that I recommend for anyone who wants to know what happens right after Order 66.
Yep.
Wait, you said 17, right? Because that is the
yes, 2017.
Okay. Okay, so I have the cover here, and that's the blade.
Ugh, immaculate.
It's like
So
he's
pretty.
like a Corsair Jedi, right?
Right? You know he's gonna be swashbuckling and like swinging around on ships. I don't know. I assume he'll be doing pirate stuff with Maz Kanata or something. It looks amazing.
Yes.
To me.
Pat says, "My cosplay him, the cutlass lightsaber." Yeah. You know, out of all the lightsabers that seemingly would need a handguard, even though lightsabers would go through it, that is the most functional one.
Honestly, yeah.
Unless there was like a lined kyber crystal channel in there that like projects a saber beam.
Well, you know what? Palpatine's lightsaber is made out of frick, which is lightsaber resistant. So it's possible this could have something similar. We don't know.
That's true.
It's cool though, and also it's very effective for punching people in the face.
That is true.
So true.
Yes.
Where once people punched people in the face with handguards, Kylo Ren seared their skin. Nedrick said, I literally called this Blade miniseries when Light of the Jedi came out. I was telling everyone that I would kill for one. I mean, I think we all, like, as soon as they said, oh, it's a Blade of Bardata, we're like, yeah, they're gonna come out with a comic for it, for sure.
Yeah. As soon as he jumped on the back of the of the Vector in Rising Storm, and they're like, I don't even know how he's staying up there, but like we're just doing badass stuff in the sky. I was
Strong
just like,
will.
Yeah, we need this.
I mean, it wasn't even it was like as early as Light of the Jedi, right, where he did like some kind of spinny move where
when the mines were popping out of the ground. Yeah,
and then I think it was Bell that was like, not even Yoda can do that. It's like, I'm pretty sure Yoda can, but yeah, Porter Engel is one of, especially, man, the name Blade of Bardata is like mystical and stuff, but like, oh, who's this? Porter Engel. It doesn't inspire fear.
No, but it sounds like he makes like and sells alcohol. You know what I mean? Like that would be like
Yeah.
Porter Engel brand whiskey.
I'll have a Porter 18. Good thing
That's
Porter
what they
is a
start
Jedi.
selling at Oga's now. Porter 18.
Yeah. Porter 18 and a 12. 12 for people who can't afford the 18. It must follow, whiskey protocol. So
Pairs
like,
nicely with a 9-egg stew.
So true.
all right, so we started talking lightly about what your favorite comics were in that era. What is your favorite comic run now? And
Okay.
why is it
Count
Bounty
of
Hunters?
three. That was quick. So Bounty Hunters. Wait, no. Liv can talk. I've already talked way too much.
I'm gonna say the same thing though. I'm also gonna say Bounty Hunters. So,
I really like Bounty Hunters.
really, wow.
I know. I'm pretty sure no one knows that about me. I've never talked. I don't really talk about it like at all. I like it because of one singular man. His name is Baylor Valance. He's.
I thought you were gonna say
Yeah.
like Gadengar or something.
You'd think.
If Ethan is here, Ethan, don't even start.
Should I take a shot every time you say Ethan?
Yes.
Probably that and or Valance. I'm sure you'll be
You'll die.
free by the end. Yeah. Get out of here with that Dengar stuff. I will not have this slander on my name. I will not have this slander on my name.
We'll just one for the entire Valence.
For hashtag Balance Nation. But
So this is how Element dies? No. Go for it.
Well, Bounty Hunters, I feel like, is a very raw, emotional story told in Space Bounty Hunters, pirates form. I also absolutely adore the art. Paolo Villanelli is a freaking god at whatever he does. We were talking before we were recording, and Choco said that his art is like vibrant and it's like cinematic almost is the only way I can describe it. Like his splashes in Bounty Hunters 9, it's just so good. Basically, Bounty Hunters has a great cast of characters. Also the way Paolo Villanelli draws women, the women are immaculate in that series, but they're not the best people, I would say. I mean, they're bounty hunters living in a galaxy far, far away, so they're bound not to be the greatest. However, you see that they have a lot of facets, and they're complex, and they're not just like, I go hunt bounties because I want money. I mean, that's of course what it looks like on the outside, but on the inside they have a lot going on. And I think Ethan does a great way. How do I say this? He perfectly encapsulates the interior like thinkings of these characters through like one singular panel. Like we were talking on Twitter this week for Bounty Hunters 27, which just came out this Wednesday, by the way. We were talking about Bounty Hunters 27 and this one sequence. Oh, by the way, spoilers for get out of here. I can't believe this. Anyways, we were talking about this one sequence where basically in Bounty Hunters 26, also spoilers for that, Vukora kills Losh's Nexu which was a gift to her by this one old man that they kind of went to contact balance with, and they kind of came upon it, and then she adopted it. Vukora kills it to save herself, and she can't believe that Losha can't believe that she wasn't strong enough to protect the next two. And there's Losha working out, and then Tonga, her wife, I think. Are they married or?
Yeah, they're married.
Tonga comes in and she says, "Are you okay?" And she says, "Not until I won't be okay until my throat or my hands are around Vukora's throat or something." And then the next few panels are like our Tonga walking away and Losha just slowly like giving up and bowing her head and just dealing with those emotions. And I just absolutely love this sequence so much. Yeah. I can't believe this. I'm talking about a raw emotional sequence in the comic book, and then I just
love that sentence.
What's the legal term for lying on the internet? Is that libel or slander? I can't remember.
Libel is a legal term.
Libel? Okay. I can't believe this libel. This, wow.
Well, admittedly, Bounty Hunters is one of the ones that I'm behind on. So I just, you know, it's interesting, to see people who, fave it as one of their comic runs. There's a lot of comics from Star Wars that, to favorite. There's Vader 2017. There's Star Wars 2015, namely issues 7 and I think 27 with Obi-Wan's journals.
Yeah, the journals of Obi-Wan Kenobi, that kind of little shindig.
Yeah. Right now, my favorite one of this era or of this recent memory is Aphra. The whole Ascendancy arc is interesting, and of course, I'm a lore person, so like, what's happening right now with her? Spoiler alert! You know, being taken over by the Spark Eternal, and just like seeing this battle that the Sith had with the Ascendancy, not the Ascendancy, the Ascendant.
I do the same
we
thing.
have to make that distinction there. It's quite interesting that, like, you know, even like going back as far back as the High Republic, the Sith saw it necessary to deal with the Drengr. They saw it necessary to deal with the Ascendants. And so like all of these factions and things that the Sith were, you know, who are evil in and of themselves, finds it worth it to move against is quite fascinating. And we don't have a lot of Sith lore either. And
especially not in canon.
Yeah. And for those who are familiar with Apex Legends, Magna Tolvin is Valkyrie in every aspect. And I don't know if you guys know who the artist is who does Domina Tag, but good lord.
I reread Aphra 2020 on the plane flying across the country yesterday, and oh my god, I completely forgot how I don't know what to say, sexy she is.
The
Sorry,
term is
listen, she is unreal in Aphra 2020 with both artists. But her in the Bosch comic,
yes,
unreal.
I lost my shit.
I need you guys to know that I spent $40 on a variant cover yesterday of Domina on the
so
Bosch
proud of you.
comic.
Oh,
because it's a very good variant. That's all I'm gonna say.
Can you link that in the Discord thread so that I may have it?
Yep, I can do that.
Actually, I'm surprised. When I went to Emerald City Comic Con, I didn't see a lot of art for Domina. I spent a lot of money on art for everything else, but like, where are the Domina fans? I mean,
they're non-existent. I'm sorry. Besides like Liv and about 5 other people, there's not very many of them.
But you gotta, you know, don't you support women's wrongs as well?
Exactly. We love a girl boss.
Yeah.
I think just we need more comics merch in general. Like if I said Domina Tag to someone who like hasn't read the original Star Wars Volume 1, they would be like, who the heck are you talking about? Are you talking about the guy from A New Hope? Because one of the tag like cousins or something is high-ranking Imperial, but
General, yeah.
like, who's Domina? Just she's a queen. That's it. That point
My
blank.
wife.
If I were in a room with Kira and Domina, I would probably lose my life.
That's
my
the
life
impossible
force.
choice for Liv.
That would be a very good way to go, I think.
It would be. It'd be a great way. It'd be the only way to go.
So true.
I think we have the same taste in women.
I mean,
Okay. Domina, Kira, Satil, Sean. Satil, you know, just think about that really quickly. I know Choco is. That's why his
oh yeah,
face is.
No, I just have a smile, just like yeah.
Oh man.
Obi-Wan Kenobi says, "Please talk about Jackson."
No.
No.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry to Kevin Scott. He is my enemy. I remember I kept seeing him walking around at Celebration. I think that person wore the same cosplay for like all 4 days that they were there. I kept seeing Jackson walk around and I was like, I can't do this. Get him out of my sight. I think I literally tweeted out like, get this Jackson cosplayer out of my sight. If somehow you're in here, Jackson cosplayer, I'm sorry. Sorry.
If somehow.
If somehow.
We'll see. I mean, they'll say in the chat, "How dare you?" You know. But
Now
they haven't so far.
I will say one thing. In that same run, Ronan comes back, and he looks exactly like the way he's drawn. He is Itadori from
Jujutsu
Kaisen, and he looks identical. When the other guy takes over. I need to find you an image and show side by side, but it is uncanny. Like
When Sukuna takes over.
yeah,
Right? Okay. That's just your signal to go to Crunchyroll and watch Jujutsu Kaisen if you guys are into anime.
I'm not
actually-
anime girly,
Me
unfortunately.
either. Sorry.
Now, is that on
I'm
purpose?
curious, though, because
or,
they feel so closely linked together.
you're simping for Blue Men and Valence. I feel like you can find anime counterparts to suit your needs.
I mean, we certainly have his live action counterpart, the Terminator, which came after Valence. I have the release dates. Valence came out in 1978. Terminator came out in like 1980 something. I can't remember exactly when, but he was the original. And when people say that Valence looks like Terminator, I have to say the Terminator looks like Valence actually. I have to actually them, which is very rewarding for me personally.
How the turntables.
So true.
Nedrix asks, why does Afra always find these super weird Jedi relics? Because
that's
she's
her
looking.
job.
No one else is looking.
It's not an accident.
She's a doctor. She has a doctorate in archaeology. She knows this.
Contested. Can't forget.
Well,
They keep taking it away from her.
She went to school for it.
Valid.
I mean,
At the very
listen.
least.
Listen, Luke Skywalker found all of these things too, because they went looking, right? I mean, that
He
stuff's
didn't
just
find
not
that
going to find
lightsa-
itself.
he found that lightsaber in that temple in Elfrona. I mean,
Oh my gosh, the panel where like everyone was like, "Let's see it, Luke, let's see it," and then he like was all right, fine, like that was cringe. I was like, why did you write that in? Oh my gosh. It's like the saying, whenever you find something, it's always the last place you look. Because you
like
found
on a
it.
random jail somewhere in a Jedi temple.
Well, no, the saying
it's
is
always the last place you look because you're not going
found
to
it.
keep looking after you found it. That'd be really weird.
Yeah, it's like you found it and you're like, wait, no, that's not it, and you kept on looking, and then it's always the third to last place you looked, because you doubted yourself. I'm saying if there's a crystal with some evil Jedi guy inside, you'd think the Jedi would have gone after it. I don't know. Honestly,
I think they kind of want to leave that alone. I would mind my business in that instance.
you know, contrary to a lot of people's belief about the Jedi, they don't seek things out.
Yeah.
One of the better issues of Star Wars was the 5 mini issue of Obi-Wan and Anakin, Kylo Ren.
The
it was
Star
a special,
Wars 25, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I really liked that.
A great lesson between Obi-Wan and Anakin. Anakin's talking about, you know, are you up to date, Choco?
I'm not certain because that one got delayed and
It got delayed like a month and a half.
Yeah, and so I was anticipating, but I have not read it yet. But you can go and spoil it.
Well, it's just a small issue. It's a small lesson between Obi-Wan and Anakin. Anakin's talking about like, why don't they use kyber crystals for like blasters and like pole arms and any other weapons? And Obi-Wan is talking about his idea about 2 short-bladed lightsabers attached
the little, like,
by the
swinging
chain.
things.
So it's kind of like what is it called? It's a ninja weapon, but it's like the rope weapon that ninjas use.
Yeah, like the sickle on a ball and sickle.
Yeah, it's kind of like that. I don't remember how the panel went word for word, but it was shot down. But his main lesson in that issue was that like the lightsaber was a symbol of how the Jedi could do more or could want more, but they don't. Like the simplicity of the sword, the simplicity of their weapon is that they do not want for more power. They don't do kyber crystal cannons and like blasters. It's like, this is their weapon. It's made for precise and calculated use only. And it's not a weapon that is made to be powerful, even though it is. But it's a great lesson in like, you know, when trying to interpret how the Jedi act and how they're supposed to act. And so I forget what we were talking about, but like
well, it's kind of like we typically run into the Jedi during like wartime. Well, only once in the prequels it's wartime, right? And it leads a lot of people to believe that that's what the Jedi do, and it's not. Jedi could be farmers or archivists or just the diplomats or whatever. And so there could be hidden, you know, or ruins all over the place that the Jedi would never find. Maybe some might look at some point in time, but if that's not what their job is, then that's not what they would do.
I mean, case in point, right? We had Padawan, the book. There was a reported planet by Wayseeker Jareni. Nobody went and checked it out for a while until Obi-Wan did and found a massive life cycle planet that resembled balance in the Force.
Mm-hmm. Also, like, how big is the Earth, and how much ruins and stuff do we not find that people actively want to find on the Earth? Yeah. And then imagine there's a billion other planets.
Exactly like that. Yeah.
Silver Glass says, just me thinking or thought that a lightsaber rifle launched hilts. I mean, it makes sense, right? They loaded the hilt into it to shoot it, but...
Or maybe, I think it is kind of like a battery where it has the 2 little prongs and then...
I mean, the way that it's
that, if by their definition, wouldn't R2-D2 then be a lightsaber rifle?
So true.
I've seen them launch them. Just saying.
Oh, Choco. The parallel between Obi and Annie talking versus Palpatine sparring
and
Vader was
yeah,
awesome.
I was gonna bring that up. Mm-hmm. That was obviously Charles Soule's stuff is all great, but that was like master level parallels. I I loved that.
Oh yeah, that's something I
well-
forgot. If we're gonna spoil it for Choco, I mean, like it was kind of like antithesis or antithetical, like what is it called? Juxtaposed.
Like a foil almost.
Yeah, it was his the lesson that he was giving to Anakin about the lightsaber for Jedi, and then like he was sparring as Vader with Palpatine with his dual sabers. So it was at that point where it was like in the, you know, he was still using them, and he was telling him like the antithesis of what Obi-Wan was saying.
Now that I already had spoiled for me because Charles Soule briefly talked about it today, and how, you know, often they intentionally, you know, him and Pac will. He will never tell Pac what to do, but will plan in order to make, you know, Luke and Vader's journeys and things mirror each other. But yeah, he specifically kind of had talked about that.
So both of your favorite runs is Bounty Hunters. Choco,
Yes.
what's your favorite run?
Whew, it is difficult to say. I just have been enjoying Crimson Reign so much, and just the concept behind it, having this whole hidden empire that is working behind the scenes, that understands that, you know, the Sith are actually what's behind everything, and they need to be taken down, and people teaming up to do just that is just like a fascinating idea, something I never would have even thought of. And I just love the way that they are able to explore just different avenues that, again, I would never in a million years have written something like that. And I always love coming up with new ideas. I think it's really cool.
Right on. So for those people who don't read comics, what would you recommend them, and how would you sell it?
I'm gonna let Liv go.
Okay. I would actually suggest to do War of the Bounty Hunters first, which I know that's how I got into it. That's pretty much how Hay got into it. It's just, it takes like the characters everyone knows and loves, adds a couple new ones in, and it's about a situation that we kind of know about, but we don't know the details. Like, we know Boba Fett took Han's body in carbonite, and somehow it got to Jabba's palace, but we don't know the in-between. So, and Empire is one of, like, the most well-loved Star Wars films. So I feel like a lot of people want to know what happened in that in-between. And there's a lot to it, per se. But I think you can just do like the main War of the Bounty Hunters run. And then if you are interested in it, you can read all of the tie-ins, you can read the one-shots, but you can just follow the one main run.
And you can pretty know
that.
what's going on most of the time.
Yeah, exactly.
Or if you're like me, you get invested in the tie-ins and then you go back and read everything, and now you're in the trenches every week.
Yeah.
It's fun to be in the trenches every week.
It absolutely is. So yeah, you can get the main story and by just reading those main ones, and it's a great time and you'll have fun. But like, you know, there's certain things that's special about listening to Afra call out Boba Fett, because she's like, listen, I've heard this voice 1,000 times. I know exactly who you are.
I love that. I love that panel so much. It's one of my favorite panels of all time. But how I would say people would get into Star Wars comics is, I would say choose like a main character that you like from the movies or the books or whatever, and then I would say, like, if they're a main character, like for example Luke or Leia, definitely read their one-shots from the Age of series. So for background, if you guys don't know, the Age of like trilogy, I don't want to say it's a trilogy because it's really not, but like the series that were coming out at the same time was the Age of Rebellion, Age of Resistance, and Age of Republic. So each of the main characters from the movies got their own little one-shot that kind of added a little bit to their characters. Like, I think Anakin's in the Age of Republic was about him freeing a bunch of slaves and him grappling with the fact that he was a slave and he's able to do what he always wanted to do for himself, for other people. In Age of Rebellion, I think it's Leia like practicing. No, it's in Lando's issue. But Leia's kind of like practicing with the Bosch armor to go in and get Han and Return of the Jedi. And Age of Resistance, I think my favorite Age of Resistance is either Rey's or Rose Tico's. So if you're a huge Last Jedi fan, absolutely read Rose Tico's, because I was sobbing by the end of it. I was inconsolable. And we talked about Rey's one shot a little bit in our Rey episode, but it really adds a lot to her character and her journey from The Force Awakens to The Last Jedi, and showing her that she's not alone and that she has all of the Jedi behind her, also kind of funneling into her character in Rise of Skywalker. But yeah, basically, if you like a big character, read their one shot, and then if you really want to, like, Leia has her own miniseries from 2015 by Mark Waid. The art in that is by the Dodsons, Terry and Rachel Dodson. Their covers are always amazing. Definitely go read that. Another one, if you're a Han Solo girly like me and Liv, his miniseries Han Solo from 2016 is incredible. And Imperial Cadet, I always have to plug Imperial Cadet because it's so good. And Imperial Cadet takes place in the time between the beginning and like the middle of Solo. So when Han is in the academy being trained as a naval pilot. And then if you like especially certain movies, like if A New Hope is your favorite, you could definitely get into Star Wars 2015. That really fleshes out the 3 years in between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. Liv already said before, if you like Empire Strikes Back, definitely War of the Bounty Hunters, all of the runs that started in 2020, those are a great place to kind of hop on. And as for others, if you really want like new, interesting characters or stuff you really haven't seen before, definitely Dr. Aphra. I reread Aphra 2016 the other day. Absolutely hilarious. I forgot how funny it is, but yeah, if you're looking for like new, stronger, like interesting characters, definitely read the comics that don't necessarily have people from the movies. Like, I gotta plug Bounty Hunters. You do get a couple Empire Strikes Back bounty hunters, especially with Dengar and Forlorn and Zuckuss. But it really fleshes out the character in a way that you really don't get in the movie, like, at all, because none of them have any lines, except for Boba Fett, of course. But yeah, those are just general
that is
recommendations.
It's a wonderful recommendation, criteria to have. I mean, I feel like at this point you've read more comics than me.
I mean, listen, last year, War of the Bounty Hunters, it sent me down I don't want to say a spiral, but a rabbit hole. I read within about like 2 months. I'm pretty sure I read almost all of the canon runs. I think I'm missing like 2, like the Rogue One adaptation and a couple one-shots, like the C-3PO one-shot from Force Awakens. I started reading, but it got boring, so I stopped. But yeah, I've read every single one, I think, that's on Marvel Unlimited, and I'm trying to go into Legends, but my brain just isn't in Legends mode right now. But yeah, there's a lot of information in this noggin.
There's only a few Legends that are worth it.
So what you were saying earlier, when talking about why you love Bounty Hunter so much, is what I feel a lot of the Legends content was missing. In the fact that I feel like things nowadays are the actual personalities and connections between the characters are being fleshed out in a far more thoughtful way than before.
I agree.
So the other ones were always about the event that was happening and cool, badass stuff. These ones are about people that are in the middle of this situation, but you understand why, what they're thinking, what they're feeling, what their connection is to that person. I remember one of the old comics a long time ago reading it, where Luke started dating this girl and then went on a mission with her where they had TIE fighters, and then like he shot her TIE fighter down by accident, and it was like, oh well, and then we just moved on, and you're like, what? that was weird. And then later it turned out that she was a spy, and then like it was by the Force that he shot her down, but she didn't die, and she augmented herself with robotic parts and became Lady Lumia.
She Valancified herself.
And yeah, so I like that. But if you see it also, if you're not reading comics yet and you see all these people who are in love with these, glove shittos all over the place, this is why you start reading that Leia miniseries, and then you become obsessed with Yvonne Verlaine, or
who's actually showing up in Star Wars 2020 right now, by the way.
Awesome. I'm a couple. I think I'm at issue 24 right now. Actually.
Oh, okay, yeah. She was in the Starlight Squadron arc. I think
yes.
Like issues 6 through 10, but I won't go into that. But what you were saying before about the people behind the bounty hunters, I actually just finished reading Tales of the Bounty Hunters, which is a Legends book about the 5 Empire Strikes Back bounty hunters. And oh my goodness, I'm very glad that they changed a lot of stuff, because the Boba Fett story is a lot. I've tweeted about it a little bit. It is a lot, but we actually got a little bit of Dengar's story recanonized in Bounty Hunters. I won't say exactly what, but basically Dengar was a swoop racer on Corellia, and Han made him he went up in a race against Han, and Han made him crash his speeder into glass or something, and then he had to get cybernetically augmented. And it also feeds into his relationship with Manaru, who was also recanonized in Bounty Hunters. Shout out to Isabella at Isabella Crafts on Twitter. But you get to see a lot of nuance behind the characters that you obviously don't see in Empire Strikes Back, because they are there for literally 0.2 seconds and have absolutely no lines.
It's also good.
Is the Hutt.
I mean, it's also good for
the
images too, like getting visuals for characters as well. I mean, we wouldn't be simping for Domino if we didn't get that art.
So true.
Probably Valence too for you, maybe.
Oh yeah.
Let's see here. The Spooky Jedi says, I love the Darth Vader series because we get to see him go ham on everyone and just be so violent. That sounds like a theory tweet, but I agree with that sentiment. Let's see here.
I actually want to talk about that a little bit, if that's okay.
Sure.
I see a lot of tweets of people asking for a Vader series, and then asking for aspects of the character that are literally in the comic runs. And people say oh, they're just comics, they can adapt them. But first of all, they already exist. Second of all, comics are a format that let you do a lot of things that are probably not possible in live action. I do not think in a million years we will ever have a live action adaptation of War of the Bounty Hunters. It's just too big of a scale that you can't really do it justice in a live action project. I think the format of having the miniseries and then the tie-ins and then the one-shots really helps flesh it out and give a lot to the story in a way that you really wouldn't be able to do in live action, especially in a movie or a TV series. You really wouldn't be able to get into the nitty-gritty, as we like to say on Kessel Run Relay, in a live action format, as opposed to the comics, where you really do have a lot more freedom, not just in artistry, but also in kind of scale and concept. So I truly don't want to diss or disrespect anyone's wishes for the Vader comic, or for a Vader TV series, but the comics are basically giving you what you want in a Vader TV series in comic book format.
Oh yeah.
And I think that's something that a lot of people don't really understand, just because they read with Wikipedia synopses and then that's it. But
yeah,
that.
Well, hold that thought, because I do have a question for you, but I do want to address this. How do you recommend going back and reading all these back issues without buying every omnibus and breaking the bank?
Marvel Unlimited.
That's exactly what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Marvel Unlimited is the best way to do it. Although there is a caveat. Marvel Unlimited, you don't get the most recent issues until like 3 months after the print date. So like something that came out like last week, for example, wouldn't be available until December. And then I'm pretty sure that most comic book stores have like a big store of them. And if you have at least like a semi-popular one, they might have a bigger stock. And I mean, let's be honest, not a ton of people read Star Wars comics, so you're kind of bound to find someone somewhere that you can absolutely go and pick up for, I think most of the time they're just cover price, which is like $4. But yeah, definitely Marvel Unlimited. I do not recommend this. I'm not endorsing this or anything, but there is a site called Read Comics Online where if you can't afford Marvel Unlimited, you're able to read comics just on like your web browser. Again, I don't endorse that, but that is an option for you.
For legal reasons, this is a joke.
For legal reasons, this is a joke. I'm not recommending this at all. But I think, going back to the Marvel Unlimited thing, I think one of our friends, Belle, on Twitter, she bought like a 1 month subscription, which is like, I think $12 or $13. And she just read like a couple of runs that she really wanted to catch up on. Like, I think that's how she read Bounty Hunters for the first time. So yeah, you could like buy it for a month, kind of read what you want, and then let it end. And then if you're like wanting to get into it again, then you can kind of re-up it and read stuff like that. But yeah, definitely Marvel Unlimited is the prime source for any of the Star Wars comics. They also have a couple Legend stuff on there, but most of the Legend stuff is like Dark Horse and IDW. But yeah, definitely Marvel Unlimited is the primo way to read them.
So,
and then, of course, as the name suggests, it's Marvel Unlimited. So anything that gets printed under the Marvel banner, again, at least last time I was on, I thought it was 6 months behind, but is it 3 months now?
Yeah, they updated it to 3 months.
Okay, which is awesome. That's super cool. So yeah, if you can't afford it, get a 1 month subscription, just every 3 months, and then catch up. You know what I mean? Like that's like your own personal omnibus.
So, I mean, like, in addition to that, I would recommend Kindle Unlimited as well, because then, like, you get to also read books that are, old as well. So you can read the books that are, retroactively a couple of months old. But Kindle Unlimited, covers comics as well. And whatever comics are on Amazon is there. And so
I think that's Comixology, right?
No, Comixology is different from Kindle Unlimited because Comixology is just the catalog of comics on Comixology, whereas Kindle is also like Kindle books and like other things on that Kindle platform. It's like Kindle Unlimited and then Audible subscription. It's like ebooks and then books, or ebooks and then audiobooks. But either way, there's plenty of platforms for you guys to utilize to read all of the old comics. A lot of them are free with subscriptions to Marvel Unlimited. The easiest way I find, and I just downloaded the Legend of Geeks app as well.
League of Comic Geeks.
Yeah, because I need a pull list on my phone as well. And I haven't been able to find a really good app for it.
Mm-hmm. I was the exact same way. I used, I think, CLZ Comics and one other one beforehand.
I used Fresh Comics, but it couldn't find a lot of ones.
League of Comic Geeks is absolutely also the first. If anyone is looking to catalog your comics, my collection is pretty extensive, so I definitely have to like log everything, and that's, I think, the easiest way to keep track of your stuff. And I think the pull list feature, where you have like a separate tab on the app and it shows you the pulls for each week, and then you can also pull like variants and trade paperbacks and omnibuses and stuff like that. But it's my favorite way of keeping track of comics just in general, and just keeping up with releases. And I've found they're also the most accurate at predicting delays, which with Star Wars comics are fairly prevalent. So yes, just League of Comic Geeks, just hits the spot.
Also, shout out to Stardust M, who's in the chat. It's the besties.
Yes, the besties. All the Kessel Run crew is here.
Yeah, I mean, she does say big week for the Kessel Run girlies.
So true.
Yes,
Especially for her, but
especially for her.
Hey,
It was
if someone
awesome
said
getting to hang out. It was nice to see you as always.
if someone were to say it's a big week for the Dyad, like, yeah, for her. For Choco.
No, someone got some reading material that I did not yet, and I'm still bitter.
We're all eating from different plates.
Yeah,
But we're eating good. Okay, so I told you to hold that thought. I had a question. Go ahead.
I did have a question that I was kind of holding in though, because both of you are heavily involved here in Star Wars comics, and it was a recent development. And I'm curious how your family and people around you have adjusted to, they like, they were so nice before, and now they have a tattoo of Boku the Hutt. Like, what's what's going on here? Like
Baku. The turncoat, really?
Hey, he had kind eyes.
Can you also have abs?
Yeah.
yeah.
No, but seriously, how did your because you went so deep so fast. I'm just curious what that was like in your real life or regular life.
I was actually talking about this with my mom today. We were driving because there's a Costco by my university, and the Costco's on the same road that you take to the comic book store. So I was like, oh, that's the road I take to the comic book store. And then she's like, this year, you gotta not be in Comic Land, which, okay. But another after effect of having read all of these comic books is that you know way too much about the movies that you don't necessarily know. So one of my favorite experiences with that is my dad just watches, because on TNT they have like they replay the Star Wars movies a lot. So they were playing Empire Strikes Back, and they were freezing Han and Carbonite, and I said, hey Dad, did you know that Boba actually loses Han and Carbonite and he gets sold off by a crime syndicate before he goes to Jabba's palace? And he was like, no, I did not need to know that, but thank you. And also in Solo, there's of course the split second mention of Kurita, which is where Han trained as a naval pilot. But there's also a very specific panel in the Solo adaptation where Valance gets reintroduced into canon, and there's like one random like mud trooper that like runs behind Han in the movie when he's like getting blown up, and I always say that's Valance right there. It could be. I mean, it was in the adaptation, so it must have gotten scrapped somewhere. I'm also pretty sure that Imperial Cadet was a scrapped storyline from Solo, because I know how they do. They kind of like take scrapped storylines from the movies and make them comics. But yeah, that's another after effect. Sorry, I've talked way too much. Liv, you go.
The only example that I really have of my family being like, what are you doing? Was when this was like a couple months ago. I've gotten worse. I have way more comics now, but I had filled like one magazine holder with comics, and I said to my mom, like, oh, my holder is full of comics. I don't know where I'm gonna put them now. And she's like, well, why don't you just stop buying them then?
That's like what my mom says too.
The stories don't stop. I still it's like I'm not gonna buy a book and then like finish it, like give up halfway through. It's the same kind of thing. It's like, no, I can't just stop buying them. Yeah. So obviously they don't really get it, but
it's like saying to someone, hey, this year I'm gonna need you to like not Star Wars. Like, excuse me?
Yeah. Exactly.
No,
that's not gonna stop.
It's funny to me because since it is a fandom, it kind of gets looked down upon elsewhere. But there's literally no difference in this than there is in watching sports all the time. Like they wouldn't be like, you know, you've watched enough football and you're like, they don't stop playing, you know, there's going to be future games and you're invested in that. And it's kind of the same feeling.
Yeah, I simp for Domina and they simp for their fantasy leagues.
Exactly.
Their fantasy
leagues are basically just like theorizing about what's going to happen in the comics.
It's their D&D football. Right? I mean, listen.
Funny.
You're not actually on the team, okay? You're not actually managing that team, but okay, say we like we won. M says, I know way more about a certain sad 30-year-old cyborg than I did before they read the comics.
I mean, she's not wrong.
Hey. That's what we do on TikTok. Is we spread the knowledge.
Yeah.
And
we spread the Valence agenda.
Exactly. And
the nation perseveres.
The question I had for you guys when I asked you guys to hold that thought, when you guys were talking about the comics give you something that you can't in visual. What if you could bring a show about any comic book character? Who would it be, and who would you get to play them?
Oh, that's...
Because I'm all over Afra and Chloe Bennett playing her.
I agree with that.
And I think Choco agrees.
Oh yeah, that's also my suggestion.
I think I was talking to my friend Alex about that because they like saw me tweeting about Afra and I was like, who is this lady? So I DM'd them and I read, I think like the first arc or two of Afra 2016. And they said that they suggest Karen Fukuhara, who played, I think, Katana in Suicide Squad. They recommended her for the role. Honestly, I see it 100%. But as for the answer to the question, I don't know.
She's also the voice of F in The Village Bride.
Oh.
Yeah, that's right.
Already.
I honestly, I can't think of an answer to that question off the top of my head.
I'm sorry, but we're gonna force you to.
God. Well, I think the obvious answer would be Henry Cavill for Valance and some sort of bounty hunter show. We actually talked about our Valance fan casts with Ethan Sachs when we had him on the podcast, and he suggested Carl Urban, which like I kind of see, but then Liv sent me pictures of him without a beard and it didn't really look super accurate. And I know there's people in the chat talking about Bob Odenkirk as Valance. That's very Austin. Funny, guys.
It's another Ethan right there.
It's Austin and Josh.
Oh my god. If it doesn't have to be like an original TV show, I would want a live action adaptation of Han Solo Imperial Cadet.
Yes, please.
With Henry Cavill Valance. So
oh my god. I would do anything to see like a limited series of Imperial Cadet. I love Imperial Cadet so much, and it really is like the untold story of Han Solo that nobody knows about, because they also at the end of issue 5, which is the end of the miniseries, they have to be continued with an ellipses and a question mark, which means they were thinking about continuing it. And if anybody by any chance is listening to this, please give us an Imperial Cadet sequel. I need more Alden Han. I need more Han and Valance. I need more Han as an Imperial Cadet. I need to see, like, I know this is the I know it's the deleted scene that got cut. I need to see the circumstances that led up to Han getting kicked out of the academy. I need Imperial Cadet Han so badly.
Yes.
Gracchus the Hutt, Vin Diesel.
Perfect.
Actually, M says Carl Urban as Valance though. I can see that too.
We talked about that. The beard really like throws me off. But like bearded, I can see. But the concept of bearded Valance is very strange to me.
Well, Carl Urban can shave.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't look. He looks wrong without the beard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He looks
rugged.
wrong without the beard, and I definitely get what they're saying.
So
Carl
Henry
was
Cavill
Ethan's
Valance,
pick.
Henry Cavill all the way.
How
For
many times are you guys
Valance.
gonna say Ethan? Jesus.
I didn't say Ethan. I said Henry Cavill Valance.
No, I made a commitment.
No, because they definitely said Ethan when talking about who, because Ethan's one that suggested.
Oh, we were talking about our fan casts.
the
Yeah.
fan cast.
But you also said Ethan when you said I didn't talk about Ethan.
Look, you're doing this to yourself, man.
That's fine. It's way better for my voice anyway.
I'll drink my water out of my souvenir blue milk cup from Galaxy's Edge.
Has Chi-Chi shown up
previously-
in any comics? No.
I didn't even see the question, but that sounds that sounds like St. Pat.
Yeah? No, hey, I sent for Chi-Chi as well.
Oh, I'm
No.
not saying there's anything wrong with that. I'm
Chi-Chi's a
just,
cutie.
yeah.
I liked her episodes in Clone Wars.
Man, you just
is
came
so
up
cute.
with like a saying, like a catchy saying.
Chi-Chi's a cutie.
Chi-Chi was a cutie. Carl Urban as Zeb. No, I need Steve Blum to be.
I need the voice
In a-
of
in a
Zeb to be
suit.
Steve Blum.
Yeah.
Okay. I do have one. I just was I'm still having trouble thinking of the other character. But the black actor who was in the first Doctor Strange movie, he was also in
Oh, Baron Mordo.
yes, it's like
Chiwetel
Hello.
Ejiofor.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
as Emmerich Kafter.
Hey.
Oh, that's galaxy brained. I like that. Mm-hmm.
He's got
I
this.
don't know who I get for San.
For is it Cian or Sean?
Cian or Cyan.
Cian?
It's something I read, so I don't know how to say it.
Yeah.
Mark Thompson, help me.
Have him show up in phase 3, and that's the confirmation.
You know, if
I don't
Man.
know.
but
I like
he,
that. I like that Emmerich.
as Emmerich.
Yeah.
I think that's something golden.
Would we
Oh,
have to
yeah.
get a ginger?
I think so. I can't think of a ginger for the life of me.
Okay, but
Besides yourself.
let's face it. Like most female actresses, their hair color is not relevant because they change it.
Oh, true.
You know?
Yeah.
Yeah, but
I can't think of a single actress right now. This always happens.
what about Deborah Ann Wool?
Oh my
Yeah,
god.
I would watch that.
Of course
hell
you
out of
would.
that.
You
Jesus
just
Christ.
expanded my brain like 10 levels. Like the Karen Page isms of Cian Holt.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I see that 100%. That has my stamp of approval.
I honestly didn't think of her as a ginger. I thought of her as when she did D&D on Critical Role. I was just like, where did that thought come from? But Deborah came up, so there she is.
No, I definitely see that.
Yeah. So we got a Valance with Henry Cavill and Alden Hahn. We got
Yes,
Afro with
please.
Chloe
Love
Bennett.
it.
We have Emmerich Kafter, played by Chiwetel Ejiofor, and Deborah Ann Wool playing Cian. Who plays Anastaros?
Ooh. I'm
I mean, I just
completely
think
blanking on
of-
her name right now. But
I just think
Monica
of-
Rambeau.
Oh yeah.
Ooh.
I forget her name. This is so bad. I only watched WandaVision once. What's her freaking name? Oh,
I don't remember Monica Rambeau's actor's name.
Tiana Paris. That's who it is. She kind of has
Oh.
that like reserved energy about her, but she can also kind of be vulnerable. I definitely see that in Monica Rambeau, and I would.
Hey, Nedrex says
Yes?
the person who played Michonne I like that too.
Denai-Guerrera?
hmm I was also thinking
I would
of the
see
person
her
who
more
played
as like. Oh, go ahead.
the person who played Spectrum or Photon on
Yeah, that's what you're saying. That's
Yeah, Tiana Paris.
yeah.
I definitely see that. I think
totally forgot that was her
Denai-Guerrera
name.
would be better for a more like older Sana. Like if she showed up in Mando, I can definitely see her playing that. But I think Tiana Paris is I think my pick for Sana, definitely.
All right, now the elephant in the room. Fancast Domino tag.
Oh, I already
I'll leave
used
this
Deborah
to
Edwell.
Jessica Chastain.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I think it could work. She's naturally ginger too, so you know.
So true. Good for her.
What do you think, Choco?
I to me she lacks the step on the energy, but I'm not saying she couldn't do it.
I mean,
That's fair. That's
yeah.
fair.
I'm not saying she
That's
couldn't
valid.
do it, but I'm just saying.
Who
I
then?
It's
agree.
essential. It's an essential energy to be Domino.
I don't have one myself.
Honestly, this might be a controversial pick, but Sophie Turner.
Okay.
I think she's too regal for that, you know? Like
Well,
I'm thinking of
She
her
has
as
step on the energy though.
Sansa, but I don't know.
We'll think about it and come back next month. We are running out of time for this episode though. So we will wrap things up with our segment on Pictionary.
Lord.
If you guys have any final thoughts on comics, you guys can sound off right now.
Read them,
Awesome.
please,
Yes,
and read Bounty Hunters, please.
please.
Bounty Hunters is the most underrated Star Wars title right now. Like you see cool things from the other ones, like especially Vader 2020, but Bounty Hunters is very, very good. That's it for me.
Ditto.
Is Mila Jovovich still around?
Yeah, she is. Why you asked that as if she's like dead?
No. I haven't seen her or anything in a very long time. I feel like she has that energy though. I'm just saying.
Actually, you know what? I can see it. Mila Jovovich for Domino. So in the Discord thread, I did put the invite for the Pictionary game. And for you guys in the stream, I will...
Sorry, my computer's freaking out.
It's time to play Star Wars Pictionary. If I start to get a little bit, you know, playful, don't worry. It's because they said Ethan a lot.
You have done that yourself.
Dwayne The Rock Johnson as Geo, that's meta. But, yeah. The Rock is The Rock. Oh goodness, here we go. Silver glass. Yes, this is exactly how we close out our show. We can have some fun, drawing horribly. I'm guessing horribly. I don't know if you guys are able to join. You might be getting ads.
I got an ad.
That was very loud.
Brody, we're only playing with our guests today, but feel free to play along with the stream. And we are starting now. Don't forget to go really quickly on selections because
Yeah, you have to pick really quickly.
it's not who you think. It's not who you think. I mean, this is very relevant.
Aha!
Come on, Choco.
Yeah, I just asked.
Everybody in the chat got it. Yay, Afra, Queen Afra.
Oh my goodness.
An unexpected error has occurred on the thing. Okay. There it is. No?
This is
Sheesh.
okay. Let's see here.
That could be a lot of people.
Yeah, that's why I also have to.
Why isn't it working? There we go. All right. You guys should be seeing the drawing now. Okay.
That's the best I can do.
Oh, what? What are you pointing at?
The person.
Oh. I got it.
Who is the person?
Same pack got it.
Besties, I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know High Republic anything, so
Yeah, I haven't read that book. I'm sorry.
It is Emery Kantaros.
Okay, how am I supposed to draw Emery though?
Hey. Pick quickly. Pick quickly.
You gotta get the blonde hair. Oh, okay. Oh, that's. Hold on.
Poop emoji.
No. Hold on. This should help. Hold on.
It halfway looks like a Among Us avatar.
Hold on. Wait, no, that finger isn't supposed to be that long. This is hard. What the heck? Hold on.
Young in the chat with Chopper killing someone.
No! Wait! How do I do this? He has like... I'm trying my best here.
So are
Hate
we.
this guy.
Chat's going
This
crazy. Astromech, Qui-Gon Jinn, Chopper killing someone. What was the answer?
It was Oppo Rancesis.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to draw Thespian or whatever.
Thespian.
Something. I thought the forearms would give it away, but no.
There's a lot of forearms people.
this is not going.
Never heard of him. Oppo is a snake like master on the council.
Spider-Man.
Pat.
Maul. Is that Maul?
Oh my god. This is not going well. Okay.
This is why.
that me?
This is how Pictionary.
You!
This is how Pictionary is supposed to go.
So it's not Hux.
Hugs. Can't remember what their noses look like. Oh no.
Oh, is that him? Oh, dang.
getting warmer though. Not to give you a hint, but like.
God.
Oh man. Toad from Mario, chat Silverclaw says.
Whoever that person is, they're smirking at me in a weird way, like they're just being rude.
Who has the things?
It's
Huh?
just.
Who
my
has
God.
the things?
I don't know what else to do.
At least it's an Oppo Rancino. Are you joking?
It
Was
was
it-
just weak way. It was just.
Oh, just
Oh,
weak way?
jeez.
Okay.
That's
Okay.
That's why you, when you put Hondo, I said you're getting warmer.
Oh jeez. Okay. I mean, this is gonna be easy for you guys, I think. There you go. Young was on top of it. Element is the best drawer here. Listen, I'm just drawing circles.
Oh no. Oh, I picked the wrong one. Oh my goodness. Oh my god. Okay, I don't even know.
Listen, draw concepts, okay? Break it down into its individual parts. It's like charades. The panic in Choco's voice.
That's some nasty nails.
Is that a
Is that a
okay, no?
hand?
No, I can't remember what they look like. Okay.
The bowman is good. I didn't even think about that.
I'm just going for all the claws.
Skier.
Hey, let's see here.
Okay, now.
Oh,
The hand of
I
God.
don't.
Okay, Hayden got it. Okay.
That worked.
yes.
Thank you.
Okay, no, it wasn't that.
I don't even.
The Nameless. Okay.
Yes. See, I am educated, High Republic enjoyers. Oh, okay. Okay. Okay.
Is that the poop emoji again?
No. Hold on. I don't know how to do the circles, so this is all you're gonna get. Oh, you can't see that!
Oh, the tools on the left. Is this supposed to be Thrawn?
Oh my goodness.
I don't know, is it?
I know who it is, but I can't remember his name. Why isn't it not coming to me?
Oh, I got it.
Oh my goodness.
The fact that I've got this, not because I've ever read a Thrawn book, but because
No, but
Purely because of the back.
yeah,
Thrawn
I
has
just follow back on
a
Twitter.
gay little cowboy friend
Yeah.
whose name is.
Whose name
whose
is?
Little cowboy friend.
It rhymes
And
with
they were
it rhymes with
cowboys.
Beli Santo.
Yes.
They were partners.
It was Eli Vanto.
Yeah, no, I was able to get it in the last minute. I was like, I knew who it was instantly, and I just couldn't think of the name.
Oh god.
Ema got it.
Boy.
Young guest, a civilian wrecker. Excuse me.
I don't.
I can't
like
seem to
circle.
quit you.
You Lauren, I like that guess. Draw a red dot, see if they get it. That really looks like That really looks like Yularen.
Because he has the mustache.
That's not a mustache. That's a frown.
Wait. No? I thought you were going to type, I hate sand.
There.
Oh! I don't remember
That's
his
all I
first
know
name.
about this man.
Oh.
Okay, there we go.
Some shading.
Jesus, what is his name? I keep on getting close. Ah! It was General Pride.
He was in Shadow of the Sith, so.
Oh, geez. Okay, Legends fans.
Oh! Sorry. He was only there for 0.2 seconds, though.
And he was annoying.
Yeah.
This is for Legends fans.
Whoa.
Okay!
Also, I
I'm
saw the hood. I knew. And I have read the Revan book. I haven't played KOTOR,
nice.
but I read the Revan book. Yeah, I really liked it, actually. I wanted to see what all the fuss was about.
Oh, and did you come to the conclusion that he was a Grey Jedi?
I hate the term Grey Jedi, but anyway.
A lot of people misunderstand his fall and redemption with
That's
using
bigger.
both at the same time. Yes, it was Darth Revan, Cal, and Pat
yes,
got
yes. I only draw stick figures. All right, leave me alone.
it. It's like, is this?
The
Huh?
heck?
All right,
Cranberries?
no, I have... Okay, we'll do like this, and then we'll...
They're beautiful stick figures.
Yeah.
Literally anyone with a blaster.
What color is the blaster?
Is that supposed to be a red blaster, or is it supposed to be a blaster that is shooting red beams?
Oh!
Uh,
Emily's gonna be proud of me.
Is she?
thank you.
I don't remember who has a red blaster. Oh gosh.
Oh. Okay.
I hope you're proud of me, Emily.
I am
You're still
proud of
here.
you.
Oh, thank you, Choco. Oh, God.
Now that I know the answer, yes, I'm looking back at the drawing of the hair. That was Baze Malbus.
Then...
I'm almost scared to guess. Okay, no. Oh! Yes! Yes, I got it.
It's
God,
close, but I can't remember how to spell his name.
Oh, fuck.
I was gonna say, this is a joke for RuPaul's fans.
It's a certain Celestin.
Oh my goodness, I'm so
This is
close.
for RuPaul's besties.
What is this? Is he summoning the Force?
He's
No,
saying
he's
Tahede
moving.
Mudiata Mudia Amukia.
He is moving.
I don't know how to spell his name. I'm so angry.
Okay.
You
It's
can do
spelled
it,
with an
Liv, I
E.
believe in
You could use the
It
chat
has
if
an
you want.
E.
Has an E.
Yeah,
That was my problem.
Nyan.
No.
Oh my god, you should have gotten that. I'm so sorry.
Hey. You gotta
I'm
get your
excited.
spelling correct.
Okay. Whoops.
Just like me for real.
I was gonna do another circle, but I forgot. So we're gonna do this. Once I do this, it's gonna.
Huh?
Oh! Get out of here!
Wait, who has that? Okay. Hayden is the winner.
Yeah.
Right on, okay.
I like his one droopy arm.
All right, so we are out of time. Thank you guys so much for being on Dyad in the Force. I hope you guys had fun with that Pictionary. Everyone got crosshair except for me. I did look in the chat for the answer. I apologize to all of my fans. That sentence. If you guys have any final thoughts or any plugs you want to make, Hayden, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
For me, you can find me on TikTok at taika.ytd again, and at Instagram and Twitter at mcuytd. Any extra plugs? We're doing part 2 of the Valence special in like a couple weeks, hopefully. We're gonna have a round table with a bunch of Valence besties where we just basically talk about Valence for a good hour or two.
And eat pickles?
Yes, I can actually do that. Oh, Liv is a pickle hater. Sorry. Any other plugs? Yeah, I don't know. Liv, you go.
What about Kessel Run Relay?
Oh, that is the podcast that we do the balance round table on. Kessel Run Relay is our podcast that we just basically talk about things we like for a bunch of minutes.
For a bunch of minutes.
For a bunch of minutes.
Many minutes.
Yeah.
And
Liv, do you have anything?
Yeah, you can find me everywhere at Oliviamidala, and yeah, I'll just plug the podcast as well. That's all I do.
Right on. Do you guys have any like final thoughts on comics? I know you guys said read them, but sorry, I'm like 5 inches above the ground.
Valence is very nice. He's cute.
Yeah. Dominant Tag's
Very
hot
nice.
too.
Yes. Generally,
Yeah.
women drawn by Paolo Villanelli. 10 out of 10.
Agreed.
That's my contribution.
Shout out to Dagavir in the chat. Let's go. Yeah, I'm floating a little bit. Choco, any final thoughts? Any upcoming announcements to make for High Ground?
Yeah. Final thoughts. I mean, Star Wars comics are amazing. Please read them, and read the Star Wars books and all the connections. The next phase of the High Republic is coming out soon. So if you want to be on the forefront, the cutting edge of the best part of the Star Wars fandom, because the toxic people are too lazy to read a whole book out of spite. Please,
The book is bad because they have neo pronouns.
Yeah, just definitely jump into it, catch up. It's going to be awesome. We're going to be talking about it a lot here. Also, I do the High Ground podcast, which is Wednesdays at 5 p.m. Pacific time, and I am switching up the format a bit. For the duration of Andor, we're going to be covering the episode that just aired. And I'm doing this because I love interacting with everyone in the community, but doing episodes on specific things meant I need to find specific people for certain things. And this will allow me to get a lot more people on. So if you guys want to join me on the High Ground podcast on one of those episodes, feel free to reach out and let me know. I can put together a list. But yeah, High Ground podcast this week for the first 3 episodes of Andor. I will have Jay Stubes, Mesa Windu, and Island Joe on. So, or Tropical Joe. He changed his name, and I can't remember which one.
Hey, Choco rolling hot with the big names.
Hey, they've all been on before.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Speaking of which, we will have our premiere watch along, even though everyone has seen it except for me and Cal, on our Andor premiere next, I guess Tuesday at midnight, Wednesday at midnight. How do we classify that? It'll be Wednesday at midnight on the 28th.
Pacific Standard Time.
Yes, on the 21st. Sorry. We'll have our watch party. Right here on Dyad and the Force. We'll have M there, even though she's seen it as well. Congratulations on that, by the way.
Yeah, but she wants to see it again.
And Cal will also be on that episode as well. That will be the precursor to, I guess, the High Ground podcast. We'll have some people on there to watch it with us, and we'll talk a bit about that. Our first impressions. So stay tuned for that on Wednesday at midnight or Tuesday night. If you're tuning in for that. Go ahead and follow our guests, Hayden at taika.ytd on TikTok, and Liv at Oliviamidala on TikTok and Twitter. Thank you guys so much for tuning in to Dyad and the Force for this semi-drunk stream. I think it wasn't drunk until Ethan was said many times. But yes, wrapping up this episode, we'll shout out our friends at friend at farfarawayfactory.com, Brooke, who did a Satil Sean shirt for me, the only one in existence. I wore it in one of my more recent videos, but I'm not wearing it now. I'm wearing my Kenobi. If you can't see it, right here, it's right here. Also, Sage and Fulcrum transmissions every Monday, Twitter and TikTok at Fulcrum Pod. We also have House of Holocrons every Friday at 5 p.m. Central. House of Holocrons on Spotify. Beings of the Galaxy at beings_podcast_gang on Twitter.
Season 2 has dropped.
Yes.
So check that out.
Choco and I are also voices on this as well. So stay tuned for that. Also, after this stream, we have our good friend Cal4, who is streaming on Twitch, twitch.tv/Cal4. It's Squad Up Saturday. Probably some Goose Duck, probably some Phasmophobia if you are interested in following someone who plays some communal games. But also, before we end, we also have to thank our squadrons, Dyad Squadron, without which we could not continue to create this and run this show every week. Thank you to our Dyad Squadron members. But I believe, if I'm not too drunk, that's the end. On to the next one.
We're lighting for life.
We are all the Republic.
And may the Force be with you always.